Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming to our webinar today on minimizing risk for aging plants. I can see that we still have some people in the process of signing on, so we're going to give it about another minute or so, and then we will get started. So thanks for your patience, and we'll begin shortly. Okay, welcome everybody to today's webinar. My name is Jill Browning, and I'll be the moderator for today's webinar on minimizing risk for aging plants. Before we get into our presentation today, I do just have a couple quick housekeeping slides to go over. First of all, hopefully you should be able to hear me speak at the moment, but I do want to mention that should you have any difficulties throughout the presentation today, there are two different options to connect to the audio, either via your computer or through your phone as well. So feel free, any technical difficulties between the two, that you can switch back and forth with that. And with that, due to the large number of attendees that we have on today's presentation, we have gone ahead and muted everyone's lines, but no worries, you can still interact with our speaker. In terms of interacting with today's presenter, you can ask your questions via the questions panel over on the right-hand side anytime throughout the webinar. And at the end of the presentation today, we do have some time allotted for questions for our speaker to answer them. So feel free to ask any questions that may come to mind, and we will try to get to as many of those questions as possible as time allows. Today's webinar is one of many in our upcoming Veolia Water Tech Talks program that will happen throughout the year. If you're interested in signing up for additional webinars, feel free to go over to www.veoliawatertech.com to check out the latest in the series. I've provided a couple of them, of the upcoming ones, on the screen here, as well as we've got quite a few others that are listed, and we are adding to that quite often, so feel free to check that out even on a weekly basis for any of those that may be of interest to you. Additionally, we have made available our collection of on-demand webinars that we've conducted over the last few years. You can access more than 40 on-demand webinars, again, over at that www.veoliawatertech.com. So feel free to go over to the website and browse the various topics that we have and see if any of those are of interest to you, and register and browse those at your leisure. One other housekeeping note, here is a PDF participation certificate will be made available to you after the webinar today. You should receive that certificate hopefully within 24 hours or so of the conclusion. And then also at the end of today's webinar, you'll receive a quick survey requesting your feedback. It should take no more than 20 or 30 seconds of your time. And for those of you who do complete that survey, you'll be entered into a drawing for a chance to win a $25 Amazon gift card. So if you would be so kind to fill that out for us, we would definitely greatly appreciate that. And if you are the lucky recipient of that $25 Amazon gift card, we will contact you or follow up with you directly afterwards. Okay, Now I've just got 2 more quick slides before I introduce our speaker today. Veolia Water Technologies. We are the leading company within water treatment. We focus our efforts within 3 key main areas. Technologies. We offer advanced and robust water treatment technologies. We have a large portfolio of over 350 proprietary technologies that we're able to offer to our clients. In addition to our technologies, we are able to pair those technologies in terms of developing projects for our customers, as well as put together multiple technologies to meet required treatment specifications of our clients. And then lastly, we have a very thorough service offering that we can provide, whether it's during projects or after. And we do serve a variety of different clients to support their water and wastewater treatment needs, from municipal clients to a wide variety of industrial clients as well. So with that, I would now like to introduce our speaker for today. Jamie Haas is the sales manager for Mobile Water Services for North America. And with more than 30 years of water treatment experience, Jamie has extensive knowledge of both process water and wastewater applications. So with that, I would now like to turn it over to Jamie.
Thank you, Jill. Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Today, we're going to discuss the issues and impacts of aging plants, where water and wastewater treatment is concerned, the solution using Veolia mobile water technologies, and a few case studies. Now more than ever, industrial plants need to extend the life of their existing aging systems and equipment. This presents a number of challenges and potential risks, including safety and the impact on production. Plus, growth factors are also increasing the demand on vital process and wastewater treatment systems. Aging equipment becomes unreliable and inefficient. To avoid very expensive downtime and loss of production, preventative maintenance and refurbishment must be carried out more often. Otherwise, unplanned repairs and costly emergency service becomes a significant risk. Here are some examples of why a plant will consider refurbishing or replacing existing water treatment systems or components. Perhaps a system has reached the end of its useful life. It's no longer reliable. Treated water requirements, either volume and/or quality, have increased in order to meet production demands. Or maybe technology upgrades are required to improve operating and maintenance costs. There are also typical maintenance that is expected to be performed periodically. When a system's operated and maintained based on its original design, maintenance and immediate replacement, for example, is expected and can be planned. Aging plants, however, and changing demands can increase the frequency of these requirements and present the need for unplanned service. Veolia Mobile Water Services offer a solution to eliminating production risk and ensuring reliability. Water security protects your business and production. Mobile services assure a reliable and cost-effective solution for treated water quality and quantity 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, year-round. It's an ideal solution, whether it's required for an emergency because of an unexpected failure or event, a planned outage for maintenance or refurbishment projects, or even an extended period of time to supplement or replace a complete system. Veolia mobile solutions can be deployed for short or long-term requirements, not just emergencies. Perhaps an existing system requires additional technologies to lengthen its life, or maybe the feed water's changed or the plant requires more capacity to meet production needs. Our mobile systems are available to replace an entire plant as modular components to supplement a portion of an existing plant. There are several ways Veolia can support an aging plant to ensure a reliable source of treated water and secure continuous production. A wide range of traditional and new technologies are available for all equipment, all treatment steps, from the raw water source through primary and polishing, depending on the final water quality required. These are plug-and-play pre-engineered modules that require minimal infrastructure for rapid delivery and startup. Veolia applies 3 basic categories for mobile service applications: emergency, planned, or multi-year. In the case of emergency situations, Veolia can and will respond quickly, depending, of course, on the site location, equipment availability, and timing requirements. This can always vary across our industry because of certain circumstances. For example, you may remember the recent weather event that occurred in Texas and Louisiana. This particular situation strained all the resources, and there were so many customers requiring emergency service. It was difficult for many companies to respond in very short timelines, but we have a couple examples that we're going to show you at the end of this program that represents some case studies where we performed during this particular event. Our REACT program is an ideal tool that allows Veolia to survey a customer's process and then jointly predefine possible services that may be required at some point, which helps us ensure rapid mobilization when and if that service is required by the client. Planned applications provide the opportunity to work with a client and then jointly design the solution that's most cost-effective, meets their requirements for quality and quantity of treated water, and even include any necessary service to support the plant. In many cases, Veolia will need to be flexible to adapt to the varying timing that's needed to complete the customer's project. Multi-year agreements are usually structured between 1 and 7 years, either for a fixed or even an open time frame. Equipment sizing can be flexible to adjust to the varying production cycles of the client. This concept is ideal if capital perhaps is limited, or maybe all the operational services and consumables need to be included in a case where a plant must establish a fixed budget based on the volume of treated water required and still guarantee performance. Now let's have a look at our wide range of technologies. Here's a snapshot of some of our mobile process and wastewater technologies, ranging from clarification through pre-treatment, primary treatment, and polishing for higher purity applications. Other technologies can be available, such as dissolved air flotation and moving bed bioreactors. All of our mobile systems are designed as complete turnkey units, including all the required supplemental components for rapid startup and independent operation. Active flow clarification is versatile for many process and wastewater applications, with a capacity per trailer of up to 1,100 gallons a minute. The chemical feed packages are included and configured for the needs of the application, whether it be for removal of turbidity, organics reduction, metals removal, or hardness reduction. The active flow can also be combined with other mobile Veolia technologies, such as pre-treatment to an RO or a DI, upstream of our MBBR, which is the moving bed bioreactor, downstream of our disc filter, which you're going to see in the next slide, or for sludge treatment. This high rate clarification design reacts extremely quickly to spikes or fluctuating feed water contaminants, which you know can be a challenge with some other technologies in the industry. Our disc filter is superior to other filtration for fine solids removal. It's self-cleaning, offers very high efficiency filtered water recovery in terms of the percentage of backwash water required. In fact, in many cases, the backwash waste can be as low as 1%. It offers a very large filter area with a small footprint. It's compact and fully assembled. Our mobile UF trailer is the largest available on the market and provides simple and reliable operation. It's a modular design, complete as a turnkey unit, so it can operate at partial or full flow. Again, it includes all the required chemical feed for inlet conditioning. There's an onboard CIP cleaning system, and even a combined backwash and filtered water storage tank. When our UF is supplied as pre-treatment to an RO system, the RO can be designed with higher recovery, which dramatically reduces capital and operating costs. RO can apply to all industries and applications where total dissolved solids reduction is required. Our mobile RO trailer is also a modular design that can offer incremental flow rates and includes all the required chemical feed packages to condition the feed water. Perhaps there's a need for anti-scalant, pH adjustment, or chlorine removal. There is also an option to configure the system as a double pass unit when even higher purity water is required. If DI polishing or deionization polishing is still necessary, RO pretreatment to a DI will dramatically increase the demin capacity and run length, which translates into tremendous savings in regenerating or mobilizing mobile DI trailers. These are our portable vessels that we use for multiple purposes. They can be supplied for use with separate bed cation or anion resin, mixed bed DI resin, multimedia filtration, or activated carbon filtration. They're a very robust stainless steel construction, capable of high temperature applications like perhaps hot water softening or condensate polishing. But keep in mind, some medias will have a temperature limitation much lower than 212 degrees Fahrenheit for like anion resin, for example, which will limit the application. We've selected a few case studies for different circumstances and applications. This is a chemical company in the United States located in Texas. 440 GPM was required to ensure treated RO water for several weeks while they replaced their existing membranes. This is one of the examples I referred to during the deep freeze in Texas and Louisiana. We deployed this mobile RO trailer within a few days of notice during those weather conditions to keep that plant operational. This is a good example of a multi-year project for a very large refinery in Germany. In this case, we provided a complete system providing over 400 gallons a minute of high purity water for a high pressure boiler. With our raw water river feed supply, this package was a complete operating system, including the required pre-filtration, primary RO for TDS reduction, and ion exchange, DI ion exchange polishing trailers. Here's a planned category example of a chemical plant that was dealing with issues regarding their existing filtration systems that impaired their capability of producing the plant's requirement for demineralized water. So we provided DI trailers with operational support for 3 months at a flow of about 1,100 gallons a minute, where these trailers had to be rotated almost daily to keep the resin regenerated and to keep the plant operating 24/7 continuously. This pulp and paper company required 2 different systems. One of them was to treat their river water, and the other was to remove or reduce chloride levels for an interim period of about 3 months. Those 2 streams were then combined to fulfill both the process and cooling tower requirements for the facility. This example is titled as a pre-planned application, but the circumstances turned out a little different. This Canadian power plant near Montreal, Quebec, was originally scheduling a planned outage for both boiler maintenance, condensate recovery, and a steam blow. As it turned out, they needed the equipment in very short order. In fact, we were being supplied with river water to supplement their smaller existing system, which couldn't keep up for this maintenance event. And we supplied the filtration, a mobile RO trailer, and ion exchange polishing vessels within 36 hours of notice. Ideally, they were very close to our Montreal location, where we are very strong in maintaining a good supply of assets. So we were able to respond in this case very much in an emergency fashion. So in conclusion, Veolia Mobile Water Services will provide the latest, most efficient technologies to maintain production, ensure quality, and reduce or control costs for short-term or extended periods. Thank you, everyone. Jill, I'll turn it back to you to proceed.
Yep. Thank you very much, Jamie. Just wanted to remind everyone, if you have any questions, feel free to type those over in the questions panel. And we do have a couple questions that came in. So with that, we will kick off the Q&A session. Jamie, one of the questions that came in here is, when you deploy some assets to a plant, is Veolia operating the mobile unit, or is the end user doing it under Veolia supervision? How does that work?
We will always provide startup services. That is mandated, of course. In many, many cases, for the most part, we will train facility operators to operate the equipment once we mobilize and perform the initial startup. We can offer operating services, and that's part of what we may work into a multi-year or a pre-planned type of situation. But for the most part, the equipment does operate very independently, but usually site personnel will do what monitoring is necessary.
Okay. Another question that came in as well. They would like to know if you could elaborate a little more on the remote monitoring of the unit.
Right. Well, Veolia has a technology that we call Hubgrade. In the future, we will be continuously working on the capabilities of this remote monitoring system. Currently, that particular technology is used internally by Veolia to monitor our equipment remotely, which allows us to circumvent any potential concerns with operation that may be forthcoming, perhaps the equipment operating parameters that it's monitoring and fed back to us indicates that the equipment may require some future service or maybe a membrane cleaning. But for the time being, it's a program that allows us to monitor our own equipment remotely on behalf of the client.
Great, thank you. Another question here is on the availability of potentially CEDI trailers, and if you're able to rent those.
Currently, the answer to that would be we do not have existing inventory of EDI trailers, but it's something that we are working on very diligently.
Okay, I think that concludes the questions that have come in. However, if you do think of any questions, do feel free to reach out to us at any time. My contact information is on the screen, as well as we'll send out an email to you as well. One thing that I did forget to mention at the beginning of today's webinar is this presentation has been recorded, and you will receive a copy of that. So that should come within the next 24 hours or so, along with that PDF participation certificate. And one final reminder as well, we do thank you for attending today. We do request if you would please fill out that short survey as soon as we conclude this. That would be greatly appreciated, and with doing so, you will be entered into that gift certificate drawing for $25. And again, feel free to check out any other upcoming and or on-demand webinars over at www.veoliawatertech.com. And with that, that concludes our presentation for today, and we do thank you guys very much for attending. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.